What is up, my friends? My name is Evan. Welcome back to the Evan Zhang Show. In today's video, I want to talk about the reliability of the New Testament in the Bible. Were the New Testament writers telling the truth? The points that I will be making in this video are mainly based on Frank Turek and Norman Geisler's book, I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. If you haven't read the book, I highly recommend it. Read it with an open heart and I promise you, it's gonna be an eye-opening experience. But hey, if you don't have time to read it, you can watch my videos as I break it down to you in smaller chunks, summarize the details and put in my own thoughts. So without further ado, let's begin. One of the main objections of people who don't believe in Christian scriptures, the Bible, the New Testament, is because they think that those scriptures must be biased accounts by biased people who converted to Christianity. So how can it be trustworthy, right? However, just because these writers are converted people doesn't automatically mean that they are not telling the truth. All books are written for a reason, right? And most writers, they believe in what they are writing. But that doesn't mean that therefore they are biased and what they wrote is wrong. It doesn't mean that the book cannot contain facts and objectivity. For example, when the survivors of the Holocaust wrote down their experiences, they believed passionately and wholeheartedly about what they have witnessed. While passion may cause many to over-exaggerate, it could also drive others to be even more meticulous and accurate to make sure that they don't lose credibility of the message that they wish to communicate. They wrote down these events as accurate as possible so that the world will never forget what happens and hopefully never repeats it. Now, before I talk about the New Testament, it is important to note that the New Testament actually contains many books written by many authors. The New Testament contains 27 books to be exact, and it is written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul, James, and Jude. So it is not just one book written by one person. Skeptics always like to ask and doubt if the New Testament writers were telling and writing about the truth, but the more important question should be, why were the New Testament writers and all of Jesus' followers converted in the first place? Why did they suddenly abandon their livelihood and their treasured Judaism belief to pick up a new belief? What did they exactly have to gain for proclaiming that Jesus rose from the dead? They didn't get any power, prestige, wealth, or at least an easier life. All they got from proclaiming their message is a lifetime full of submission, servitude, prosecution, torture, and death. What possible motive did the New Testament writers and all of Jesus' followers have to fake the resurrection story if it wasn't true? On the contrary, they have all the reasons in the world to deny the resurrection rather than to proclaim it. Submission, servitude, torture, persecution, and death will not incentivize anyone to make up such a story. Almost all of the apostles of Jesus were Jews who are already God's chosen people. Why would they invent another salvation story if they already have a promised one? What could possibly make the New Testament writers abandon their long-held sacred beliefs and adopt a new one? They did not deny their testimony even in the face of persecution and death. They could have easily saved themselves by recanting. If they have really made up the resurrection story, they certainly would have admitted it when they're about to be crucified, stoned, or beheaded, which were ultimately the fate of Peter, James, and Paul respectively, just to give a few examples. But curiously, no one recanted. Not even one. 11 out of the 12 apostles martyred for their faith. The only survivor, John, underwent heavy persecution and torture as well. Why would the apostles and many other followers of Jesus willingly die if the resurrection was a known lie? Every one of Jesus' personal disciples insisted that they have personally seen the bodily resurrection of Jesus from the dead. But before that, Peter had already denied Jesus 3 times before Jesus' resurrection to just save his own skin. He surely would have denied the resurrection again if the story was really made up. The New Testament writers had nothing to gain and everything to lose if the resurrection story was made up. While many people will die for a lie that they think is true, nobody in their right mind will die for something that they know was a lie. The New Testament writers were willing to die because they know for sure that they saw Jesus rose from the dead. And they demonstrated that knowledge with their own life. What more could eyewitnesses do to prove that they're telling the truth. But you might say, what about Muslim martyrs, those suicide bombers and all the other martyrs who are willing to die for their faith every day? Well, there's one major difference between the New Testament martyrs and all the martyrs today. Martyrs sincerely believe in their cause, but the major difference is that the Christian martyrs of the New Testaments, they had more than sincerity. They had the evidence that the resurrection was true, because the New Testament martyrs, they are the eyewitnesses of the resurrected Christ. They have seen it firsthand. They knew that the resurrection was true and not a lie because they have verified it with their own eyes and their own senses. They saw, touched, and ate with the resurrected Jesus on many occasions, and they have also seen him perform miracles on many occasions. Therefore, they needed very little faith to believe in the resurrection. They are actually there to see Jesus alive again after he has died on the cross. So they not only have faith, but they have the proof of it. They saw the risen Jesus with their own eyes. So they willingly submitted themselves to persecution and death to testify what they have verified with their own eyes. This is unlike any other religions who produce martyrs. While the martyrs today are certainly sincere about their belief, they don't have the eyewitness proof that what they believe is true. If the New Testament writers were willing to be crucified, stoned, or beheaded for proclaiming the resurrection, maybe they are indeed telling the truth, that they have seen the risen Jesus, and that Jesus is indeed the Son of God and he is the Messiah that he claimed himself to be. And I'll just leave you guys with that. If you found this video helpful in any way, please make sure to drop me one of these. It really encourages me. Do let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you agree or disagree with me, I would love to have a conversation. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos on faith. Have a good Sunday, y'all, and I'll see every one of you in my next video. Bam!